Shonen protags have a wide range, some calling many of them uninspired, while others are considered the best characters of their media. I gathered myself and my friends to come up with a consensus, a tier list that will separate the great from the not so great. We'll rank them based on design, character depth, personality, and uniqueness as a character. My name is Adryan.
I'm East.
I'm Skai.
And I'm Vita. Now let's get to ranking.
Ranking Shonen protagonists. Let's just go. Deku, where does he go?
He's pretty cool. I mean,
For me, he's
I'm,
at least A.
I was gonna say,
I think, like, the person he's next to is, like, he's S compared to him. So I feel like
talk about that.
I would want to put him in A. I feel like he's not, like, revolutionary, so I put him at A and not, like, S.
What's like the bar of comparison though? Like,
Well,
in
I think
terms of
we can
power,
change. I don't think power really matters for it. It's like it's
Let's
quality.
not get into
you know?
power scaling.
We're not power scaling here.
Yeah.
For
I
me,
guess
I'm gonna go. I can understand us.
I'm gonna say at least A. As
Yeah,
well.
I think we should start with him as A, as kind of like a base. And
we need to go back and fix it.
Yeah. We can. What is everyone in agreement?
I want to hate, but I don't know.
Hey, do it.
B.
I don't know.
What do you
I
think,
think I
Sky?
do put him at A. Yeah.
All right, majority say A.
No.
Yeah,
It's majority.
It's majority.
It might change depending on how.
Fucking dictatorship.
All right, Boruto. D. We don't have an F tier.
Nah, D is fine. Are we okay?
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think D is fine.
All right, moving on. Eren Yeager. I was gonna say something, but I stopped myself.
People overhype Eren. I think people overhype the thematic value of Attack on Titan. I think they don't realize kind of got some weird undertones. It ended with him being pathetic that he didn't get to sleep with his stepsister. So I'm putting him in C at least. He's at least a character, which is why I would say he's in C.
He's definitely above Boruto. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, whereas Boruto isn't really a character of his own. At least Eren is a character of his own. I feel like he is flawed on purpose, right? But I think the flaws are just too heavy to really put him. You could appreciate how they made him flawed, but like it's not like he's flawed in a sympathetic way or anything.
Heritable qualities.
So I'm gonna put him in C.
I think. Yeah. I don't know much about Eren.
I think I know enough, but we'll leave that at that. Let's move on.
Jojo.
I'm not
Giorno Giovanna. Not
Jojo.
Jojo is not the protagonist.
Damn, not all the JoJo characters. I hope they're all.
They're all here. All the JoJo characters.
What?
Everyone is here. I think Giorno. I'm gonna say B.
I'm gonna go C.
I was gonna say I understand C because compared to the other JoJos, I understand like how he might quote unquote lack like personality or depth compared to the rest. Like, his basic thing is like, all the JoJo things. He wants to, help people. His upbringing made him severely empathetic and yada yada yada. But like, part 5 is more like it's more about like, Bruno and Trish if it is about JoJo. Or like Geo, I guess. Same fish.
Geo.
Yeah. He doesn't impact me the same way like the others do. So like B, C, I understand C, but like I don't know. I think it's just my soft spot for him. I don't want to put him on the same place as Eren, but I understand C. Honestly.
To me, B is a little generous. I think he has a good power, but I don't really
As you
see
said, we're
much
not power
development.
scaling.
I know we're
Yeah.
not power scaling, but it's like the one good thing I could say about him, so I'm trying to give it to him. Um, he's got a unique design that doesn't really say much or fit his character, I would say. Um, his character is kind of just whatever the story needs it to be at the moment, I feel.
True.
And I feel like his moral compass is not something rigid. You can't tell when he's being moral about something or when he's just like doing something for his own gain, which I do feel is on purpose, because that is pretty much the only way we could feel that he is the son of Jonathan and Dio, which is kind of an element of him that they underplay, which I feel had a lot of potential as an idea that they didn't really do much with. Um, it seems so far Joe Dio in the manga is kind of epitomizing that more than Geo does.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see he is probably among the lesser of the Joe stars.
Once.
I think the most of the Joe stars are probably gonna be pretty high compared to him.
Yeah, all of them will probably be higher than him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like I understand C tier. You can go ahead and put him in there.
Right. We're
There's
not
no C
ranking
in it.
them on the list, correct? It is just everything on the list is the same, is what we're saying.
Right.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay.
I can't do that.
Gone Freaks.
The boy. Let me really
I
try to
feel
think
he
about it.
is he's kind of completely average shonen protagonist. Uh gets angry and gets powerful from it. Like every shonen stereotype pretty much fits this guy. I think he is the complete middle ground where I would say he goes in B in my opinion.
I agree. I like that one.
I'd say so. Pretty much encompassed him fine. The only thing that made him like super memorable that set him apart from other pro tags is just that his anger slash snap insanity moment was just very freaking iconic. But
I
like,
think you
they
could say
all
that
have
about
their
a lot of shonen pro tags.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, like there are definitely other iconic ones, but Gomes like definitely had its specific brand of like I guess flavor in comparison to what he was to like that moment when he snapped. Like again, a lot of them snapped, but his was pretty definitely I'll say my top three for certain.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, Asta. Um, oh boy,
Don't get me
I do
started,
listen. I do love Asta in terms of concept design. Love the world building of Black Clover. Execution wise, leaves a lot to be desired. But Asta himself, I mean, to talk about him briefly, it's like what, like, his thing is like he never gives up, but that's every pro tag for the most part. And he had a major setback, and he's just so damn persistent, and that's what like drives him really. And it's just because of the world building, it helps set him apart from like everybody else in the series. But it's like, there's nothing like too memorable about Asta. I love the design and everything and all that, but blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But anything, but yeah, that's not enough. So he'll
In my
probably land in
opinion, I
C.
feel the design kind of downgrades as time goes on, because like when we compare him to someone like Goku, who's
He's a block.
starts exactly Goku starts, pretty chubby like as a kid. So does Asta. Not chubby, but he starts as, a little bit
Like
scrawny kid,
Yeah,
and
he's
as he like grows stronger, you don't really see the equalizing of that kind of sturdiness throughout his body. Like with Goku, you could see his musculature grow as he does, and Asta, it's like he keeps the same face and same overall design, but
it's
with
only
these
though the time
muscles that
skip.
don't seem natural for him.
Bro
Which,
is built like a wall.
yes, and I think he has his. I think if you're looking at defining traits that separate him from typical shonen, I'd say probably obnoxious is the word, which isn't exactly the best trait to be. So I would go C tier for him.
Yeah, C seems appropriate. His voice, like, you know, a lot of people couldn't even watch the show because of his voice. Obviously, I could still, but like,
I
it
think
just
his
reminds me
voice
of
is a
like
little
early.
overhated. I think it's more
Yeah,
his
that's
personality, that
good,
is
but
the annoying thing.
it's like you hear Dub Naruto's voice like in the beginning. That shit was grating.
Yeah, that shit
But
was
it
over.
fit him so well though. We'll get to that, but I think that fits the kind of character Naruto was in the beginning. But we'll get to that.
Yeah,
Next is Josuke.
I can't say too much about him
Hey,
because I have not gotten
I
wait,
all
would
there.
vote S.
wait. Which
This is
Josuke? Oh,
the eight Josuke.
oh,
Part
no.
eight.
I
I
would
got
go S for this Josuke. I feel like his coming to understand himself throughout the part, as he learns his origin. I think his design is fantastic, and some of the colorations they use, like in one of the covers where he's orange. I think his relationship with Yasuho is one of the best relationships in the series. I think his stand is one of the best designs in the series. I think the way he reacts to stuff, like he's both hilarious, he's weird, but he's also like relatable in a weird way that like I don't even think I could explain. I think this Josuke has everything you want in a protagonist pretty much. He's unique, he's smart, he's funny, he's dumb. He's both dumb and smart, which if you can't understand that, that's what showing characters should be pretty much.
He just
But
like me for real.
so I would personally put him in S, but I
Like
understand if
this
you think we
motherfucker.
should put him in A instead.
I mean, I can't argue. I don't know enough about him to argue otherwise.
Me either.
I think you might be the sole voice regarding this, man.
All right, I'm putting him in S then.
All right,
F.
Ichigo Kurosaki. You said what? For Ichigo or
That's a.
for Goku?
I'm sorry, but I'll probably give Ichigo a D or a C. No, I'll give him a C because
I'm
my boy's.
voting. I'm voting B for him. It's not because he stands out, but it's to me, it's like he doesn't have any defining like problems with him that like annoy me or like get in the
Yeah,
way. So I would put him like B, and I think his design, I feel is iconic in like a way that I would say even surpasses Gon. Like, and his
It
sword
does.
is. I mean, he is
100%.
part of the big three for a reason. I would put him in B.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to get into Bleach, at least start reading it. Um, but yeah, it's like as far as Ichigo goes, like it tracks. As far like from what I know, like yeah, there's not too many like big flaws that I know of at all. Like I only know his motivation, so to speak, as far as I've heard, it's like just, doing it for his friends or his allies. But like, that isn't really a bad thing. It's just
he's
a reactive thing. It's just
yeah,
he's
he's a
just caught up.
reactionary character.
Yeah, he's just caught up in the nonsense that's going on, and that's kind of realistic. Maybe he doesn't have a big goal, but he just gets whatever he needs to get done because he's just trying to protect people. That's fine.
Which
It's
isn't
fine
that
enough.
bad.
I think
It's
that's
not.
completely fine for a protagonist.
It's not that bad. I'll give him a C. It's like it's just his personality. Like he literally, if reactionary was an anime character, that's him. Like you don't see his personality unless it's like it's towards something like insane or just obnoxious or annoying, or he has to do this or he has to do that. Then you'll see his personality. But him at base level, in my opinion, he's kind of just like this stoic, cool kid. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't necessarily bad, but I feel like not as wise words. Not everything needs a reaction, and that's literally him. Everything he does is just reaction based.
Yeah,
I think that
I think
you do have to put in consideration that there is kind of this trope of like just we see here already like there is a lot of excitable heroic kid characters, and it seems like there's two types of shonen protagonists. There's like the more serious characters like Aaron and Giorno, And then there's
Mm.
like the excitable kid type characters like Bakugo and Asta. And I would say the serious ones are less common, and Ichigo kind of stands out more because of that. Because compare him to, you know, Naruto or Luffy, he's really nothing like them. So at the time he was coming out, he was pretty unique compared to what was popular.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd put him in B,
All right.
honestly.
Majority
I
say
don't think
B, so we'll put him
yeah,
in B.
I don't think he's on the same tier as the C's.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
Inuyasha.
No, I'm playing.
I've seen like an arc, one that was on. It was on Toonami. It was the. I don't even remember. It's like they were fighting all the hollows and shit. But anyways, moving on. Um, Inuyasha, my boy. It's been so long since I've watched Inuyasha. Like what, like over 10 years. But I do remember, obviously liking his character back then. Nostalgia removed, just in the sense that, like, he's not like, for one, this is definitely not fucking shonen protag, but just his demeanor, his just aggressiveness, and just like one of my first introductions to that trope of like battling that human demon, like hybrid concoction within yourself. I'm pretty sure Inuyasha was like my first exposure to that, which I found very interesting, with his dynamics with Sesshomaru and all that. But from what I remember, Inuyasha, I'd put you at, I think, yeah, I think I'd put my boy in B. Honestly,
I
again, this
am
stuff
leaning
I remember.
towards A. I feel like his design, like he's not technically even the main character. Like the show is named
He's not.
after him, but he's technically not even the main character. But he's so iconic that like they put him here because when you think
Mhm.
Inuyasha, like yeah, it's named after him, but you think him.
Yeah,
And I think his design is better than most of these others on the list. I think if you were to
definitely.
argue he has the best design on the list, I would not argue with you at all because his design is pretty
Same.
fantastic.
I can
And
say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
so for
I'll give
me,
him.
that's why I would put him in A.
All right, you convinced me through hours of long debate. A for sure. Oh,
Anyone disagree?
I'll give him a B.
all right, majority.
All right,
No,
majority say B
I
then.
give him an A. I have no choice. I have no reason to give him a B.
Oh, okay.
I'm a hater.
I'm not hating.
I don't know.
All right.
I like his
Itadori.
his personality's good, man.
All right, Isidori. What can we say about
I'm
my
going
guy?
B because I feel he's harmless, but he doesn't stand out at all to me. Like he doesn't annoy me, but he also doesn't stand out. I think he's just likable enough where I'm like, yeah, you can be the protagonist, but there's a reason why, Gojo is the standout in terms of popularity and not him. Like for Naruto, Naruto's a standout. For Inuyasha, Inuyasha's a standout. Uh, I don't think Itadori is the standout for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Uh, definitely not. He's pretty. He's like pretty baseline. I think like the drawing for him is just kind of his. I guess like battling with the whole thing about like, well, not battling because he knows he's going to die, and he makes his peace with that. But it's like all the death and carnage he sees along the way is what really fucks him up. And coming into terms of like what he is versus like Mahito, which he thought was kind of like the opposite of him, but he realized they're actually just one and the same. They're both killers in a sense. But I mean, that alone, like that much depth is rarely kind of like seen in most shonen pro tags, at least to that semblance. Like he's set apart in more of a like morbid scale than the rest, I believe. So it's like B, definitely, yeah, but like nothing like puts him exemplary beyond B in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd go B for him. I wouldn't say it's a high B for me, but it's probably a low B. But he's fine. I have no issues with him.
Go there.
All right, everyone thinks B.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if it were up to me, Johnny is also S. If
Who?
it's up to me, Johnny is S. All right, Johnny's S.
Johnny Joestar.
Vash the Stampede. Where are we putting Vash? I think Vash would be.
I've not even seen
I
Trigun.
think Vash would either be A or B. Vash is the best part of Trigun, and like when I look at everyone from B and under, I don't think I would say they are the best part of the show. I feel like if you were the best part of the show, you're like A tier at least. So I would personally put Vash in A because I think he is what makes Trigun like entertaining, and he is the comic relief of it. And he
He
fits like
looks.
so many people will watch it just because of how he looks.
I was gonna say it's like Trigun's always looked interesting to me, and it's like I've seen little of anything in Trigun besides like I know there's guns in there, at least 3 of them, and I've seen Vash, who looks very interesting. So it's made me want to like take a look at it.
Yeah,
On a
personally, I would
side
put
note,
Vash in A.
did you see that new like whatever? I don't know. It's a
I
like
would put
3D
that
animation.
Vash in C.
Uh,
Okay. I only watched one episode, but it's too different for me. It's a new iteration, and it's like I can respect you're doing different things with the characters, but they're not what I
yeah.
want to see out of the concept of Trigun. So that's not my Vash, but I'll respect that they're doing their own thing, even if I don't like it.
All right. So yeah. What did you say, Fran?
I'd like him in A.
All
He's
right.
very funny.
Fine.
Someone actually similar to Vash is Joseph Joestar, someone who's a little comedic. Uh, I think Joseph is probably what gets a lot of people into JoJo, just because they watch through part one and they may not fully vibe with it, but I think Joseph's immediate comedy, immediate smart thinking and tactics kind of revolutionized the battle the battle tendency in JoJo.
If
Like
you
the
will.
way
Yeah.
battles work in JoJo changes because of Joseph, and the way battles work
Yeah.
pretty much
It's
are stay that way for the rest of the series. They stay these mindful battles between the wills of the competitors. It's not just punch harder. It's outthink your opponent. That all started with Joseph.
it's also such a stark contrast to like the part that came before it. So at the time, it was just like, oh yeah, Jonathan, this honor bound guy, who climbed his way to higher strength to defeat, this vampire guy. But then you have Joseph, who's not at all honor bound, does dirty tricks to, defeat his opponent, does whatever it takes, the most underhanded tactics and the most like bullshit things that he pulls out of his butt. It's like it was just very like a huge, like a very good contrast, especially given like what came before it. I'd put him on S, honestly.
He's also got a big variety in the stunts he pulls. Like he's always got
Mhm.
different tools at his disposal. You never know what's coming next for him, and I think that makes a very unpredictable character, which makes a very fun character. Not
I'll
to
Yeah.
give him
mention
a.
his relationships is very interesting. I think I would give him. I'm stuck. Torn between S and A.
It's
I
between A
say
for me.
I say S just because of the thing you mentioned before. Like he is the kind of the reason some people like latch on
If we're
to like
including
JoJo.
all of JoJo, part three Joseph is a highlight of that part. And same thing with part four, Joseph. Part four, Joseph really nails that emotional connection between him and Josuke. He makes you like love that iteration of him in just like one episode. And part three, Joseph is just a joy throughout the whole thing. So if it was just part two, Joseph, I would say A, but recognizing
I'm
what
using
he
Joseph as
is
a
for
whole.
Joseph as a whole, I would have to put him in S.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an S. I like the only thing that was holding me back was just sometimes the bullshit that he pulls is like insane, and you have to be super lucky. But I feel like that applies to literally every single fucking main character ever.
I do think
Oh
they
yeah,
acknowledge that he gets lucky, which we'll get to it later. Some certain JoJo character will do some BS, and they will get away with it, and the author will act like it was sheerly their intelligence and abilities they just suddenly have now. But we'll
Yeah.
get to that later. I think Joseph, like when he shoots cars into space, he admits this is luck,
Post
but I'm gonna
one,
pretend it's not. So
yeah,
for that,
yeah. I
like
was
I'm gonna
literally
have
gonna
to
say the ending of
put put
part
some
two was
respect
just
on him for
freaking
that. He admitted it was luck.
crazy.
Yeah, I think him like empowering himself through luck is kind of cool. So I'm keeping him an S for that.
It's just
Yeah.
there's no fault with him. His character design, his character, his personality,
I
his
mean,
motive.
the whole basis for part four. I don't know. Some people might argue that might be a fault, but you know, depends who
True.
you ask, I guess.
Any arguments, Sky?
I just like how integrated he is into the series of JoJo. Like, started off as one character, one part, and they could have left him as that, but they decided to just like continue that, make him more, yeah, just ingrained into the series. I think that's cool. Just get to see him evolve over time, and he's not there for every part, but when he makes his appearance, like it's definitely like you feel it. It's there. It's strong. It's neat. I like it.
It's always just a delight to see him in another part. Every part of him is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He may not have the same character depth as Josuke or Johnny, but in pure entertainment, he is all there, and I think that makes up for it. So he's definitely S for me.
Damn, Giorno
And
looking real lonely down there.
another S for
Mm.
me, Edward
Oh
Elric.
yeah,
I think
oh
Edward is
yeah.
an immediate S for me.
I say S.
Of course.
Is
S
there really
tier.
much to be said?
I mean, his
Now he's
development through this series, his arrogant personality stands
the
out, and
development, the drip, the
that
demeanor,
jacket looks beautiful.
attitude, all of it.
The automail arm and leg looks beautiful on him. His relationships that grow throughout the series, his relationship with Alphonse, it's all beautiful.
His
Um,
growth at the end of the series too.
yeah, this is like the perfect character. Like I can't think of a single thing I would change about anything about Edward. I think he is perfect just as a character.
He is.
It seems we're all in agreement. This guy's goated. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. He's just him.
He's
Put him in S.
him.
I don't see
S
my boy
plus
on
if we
this
have him.
list, and that's kind of making me scared. But I'm gonna leave it alone for now.
Well,
What do you
yeah,
mean, bro?
just
Meliodas is right there.
Yeah, don't ever say that ever again. It smell like shit. Probably is shit.
all
Put
right.
this
This
man
is
on the
this is
registry.
Canada, correct?
Let me
I
see.
I think I would. I mean, his jacket is iconic,
Yeah, I
but I
want that
feel like
jacket.
he is kind of. I
He's
think
B.
the villain in his story kind of outdoes him, so I would put
Much
him in B.
definitely. He
And I think
definitely.
the environment also kind of outshines him. When people say, when people talk about Akira, they don't talk about Kaneda unless they're talking about like a fight scene where, or just his
Dude, remember
jacket.
he did that bike slide?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put him in B. I think when I think back about his actions, I think I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool. But him as a character, I'm just kind of like, okay. But I do like him. I do like him. But he is
He's
kind of
not him.
outshone.
He's just not him.
Speaking
Sorry,
of
buddy.
not him, Kirito.
Yo,
I
What are
am
you talking about, bro?
instantly
He's the
putting him
him of
in
things.
D.
What do you mean?
I am
let's go.
Come
sorry.
on. All right, but
He
just
is
imagine,
going in
bro.
D for me.
Dude, how goated do you have to be for every female basically in the series to fall for you? Even your own cousin, apparently. Like,
I think he
Your
put it
cousin?
best on why he
You're
should be
supporting
D.
yeah.
this right now?
No,
You see,
I'm
this
not.
this is one of the things I even mentioned for Asta. If every character in the show falls in love with you for no reason, when you show no discernible personality traits that would seem even the most bit uh with chemistry with the other character, then that
Hey
will
man,
definitely bring you down.
ladies like a man that works hard, yo. And Asta
And
works hard.
sure,
Yeah, man. So does
That's
Kirito.
he does. Yo, no.
He's like,
Kirito is different.
yeah,
Yo.
bro. He's like
Kirito is the
level like
same.
99 or whatever, and he's the only dual wielder in his game. They call him a beater. You know what that means?
I know they called him that. Great decision for them
They
to
did it
do
on.
that.
They had to do it on purpose.
So, I mean, I think the fact that like Kirito grew way more popular when he became a girl for no reason kind of shows there's nothing there. Like he's barely there. Like he's there all the time, but it's like his mind is blank the whole time. He has nothing of interest to say. So like all you have to do is add long hair and say it's a girl, and people like him more, just because they were looking for anything to latch onto.
Bro, just look at his design. Like it's revolutionary.
I don't think anyone's gonna argue with him in B tier. I think we're ready to move on to Lego Sheet.
Legoshi, I think I'm gonna say, A tier,
I think
yeah.
I'm B, leaning towards A. I think he
That's a
stands out.
dog.
Yes, you would be. Well, it is a part of the Canid family. It's a
Kanan.
gray wolf. Don't be. Don't
I
be
think there is
speciesist.
more of interest to me in Legoshi than any of the people in B. Like I'm
Yeah,
leaning toward. I could be convinced for A for sure. I'm gonna let
yeah.
I'm gonna let
I was
Sky
gonna
talk about
say.
this one because I know he loves
I
B
mean,
stars.
yeah, you've read more than any of us. Well
I
done.
mean, I finished it. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a definite like solid A for me. It's just his journey. Like there was what did I didn't watch the anime season 2. I know I finished the
Season 2
manga.
was great.
What does it end off with? The arc.
Basically, the fight between Legoshi and forgot his name, the bear, and like Louis helped him. You know,
Yeah.
for that dub.
There, it just afterwards it just delves more onto what it means to be like a B star, literally. Like it has a much
Or
more
Date Bio.
has a deeper meaning. And it's it's nice to see Legacy like unintentionally like strive to become that B star and like play off of like the characters that like Louis, Haru, just evolve with them in time. Like each one, it's funny because they separate a lot. At least for Louis separates from Legacy a lot of the time, but they when they always come back, it's like, oh hey, here's what's happened, and like they allow them both to just kind of like take what they've learned in that time away and kind of like allow them to connect and use that to help others a bit. It's nice, and Legacy has. It's always nice watching Legacy like evolve as well. Like there's a part where he gets pretty much his own apartment, and he has
Damn,
like
you
I
doing
think it's
better than
a
me.
he has like a walrus like a neighbor, and his conversations with him are like I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was like just like funny to read and like interesting as well because the walrus has like a lot of knowledge with him to impart onto Legacy. But yeah, I think solid A for sure. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Legoshi's an A.
Was the
for
manga
sure.
rushed? Like, did it?
It ended abruptly.
That's whack.
Like it had good progression, and then all of a sudden it just ended. I feel like the manga definitely ended way too soon.
Bro,
There was more that it could have done.
East. Imagine this, bro. Imagine you're a wolf and you don't eat meat, and you still clear, bro, on just vegetables. That's not that's not raw as hell. That's raw as hell.
He lost all his hair though.
All right, that's not the point. The point is
He didn't have the drip.
he gained a higher level of being. Just a built different wolf. All right, next, what we got? Light
Light
Yagami.
Yagami. He's a weird one. I feel he doesn't have as much depth as the direction would tell you, but if you if you watch Death Note and you think about Light, that it might be one of the funniest comedy anime you will ever see. So
Comedy
because
anime.
of that, I would put him in high tier. I don't know which tiers specifically yet, but when you think about it for 2 seconds, everything that happened in Death Note would be so easily avoided if Light wasn't such an idiot. And seeing him continuously like make these mistakes based solely on his own pride, it becomes very funny just seeing how far he goes in becoming this villain for pretty much no reason. And his villainy being completely unjustified, yet presented as if it would actually work, even though in no means it wouldn't. Light is a hilarious character, so I would put him in A tier.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, given what I know about Light, like, yeah, he doesn't seem to have the depth that like any of the other like characters on his tier would have, as far
But
as I
he is
know.
so funny. He has made me
But
laugh more than all the other characters B, C, D tier combined. He's
mm,
made me laugh. Honestly, he's made me laugh more than everyone in A tier as well.
mm,
Like, and Vash's whole thing is like that he's the funny guy. So
mm,
it means a lot that Light like makes me laugh so much. And I know it's unintentional, but like watching the show is like they have to know what they're doing when he just like stares down L and is just like, "Ugh, if I chuckle at this joke, he'll know I'm the killer for sure." Like they have to know what they're doing because it's hilarious, and I
mm.
don't regret watching all of it at all because it was just entertaining seeing how ridiculous these conflicts got. So I'm going A tier.
Okay. Well, in that context, I wouldn't argue.
All right, but can you argue for Luffy? I feel like you might want him high.
I listen personally. Now, some of y'all may say different, but I think I'm gonna put him in S tier, and here's why. And here's why.
What the fuck?
Luffy, Luffy is not obviously not like any other Shonen MC. All right, he's got the stereotypical I'm stupid and I eat a lot, but his mind, it goes. It's just very like deep in comparison from his innovation and battle sense to like his deep empathetic understanding of others into like just the fact that like he's not a person, like it's a little like blunt, and some people might disagree with this, but he doesn't really care to know about his friends like pasts. He never asks, and if it ever comes up, he usually finds a convenient way to either like leave, go to sleep, or just not be involved, because he does not care where you came from or what you've done. All that matters is the present and who you want to be, and the fact that he will get you there like no matter what, if you've already like pledged yourself loyal to him and him to you. His like understanding of others is so like I think it's something so very like overlooked just because of like all the gags and all the funny like base level shit, but like his the way he understands people, I think, and it like ties in really well with his background coming from, like most shonen MCs had a lonely upbringing, but he's the only shonen MC that shows that throughout the series and how that has shaped him as a person and what he wants out of others that he wants to sort of like surround himself with. And to sum it up, basically, yeah, that's why I put him in S tier, because he's a very in-depth person. He goes beyond the gags and whatnot, and the show actually shows how his influence and how his beliefs change those around him and those that he's touched, and it shows like how he's moved the world as he like moves through it. But yeah, S tier from a boy.
I'll say
I
S.
I appreciate his the kind of thematic value of him representing this cartoonish idea with his squash and stretch. And I think that winning all these battles at the end is positive for what One Piece is trying to say. But on the other hand, he's kind of annoying. So I put him in B.
All right. East.
Uh, I'll say S. He's the basis for all of the manga, man. He's literally the blueprint. I can't have him
I
anywhere
would
else.
argue Goku is more of the blueprint.
All right, for contemporary like manga and
I
shonen.
still I think Luffy is pretty much one to one, like just kind of inspired by Goku.
Luffy is inspired by Goku, but Luffy is definitely his own brand of like flavor and how they tell his story and how he moves things around him. It's definitely its own unique brand.
Could I argue for A?
No.
Okay. Josuke.
Josuke S. I'm gonna say S for my boy.
I'm gonna
I'll say
go A for me.
I'll say A, and that's my favorite Joestar. But I'll say A.
I mean, I love Josuke. I love all his stories. I think the only
Josuke's an
difference
A.
is if we
He's
compare him to these four, I just don't think he has the depth that
yeah.
these four have. Well, and he doesn't have the entertainment value I'd say Joseph has, or even the staying power that Joseph has. Uh, I don't think anyone would get into the series just for Josuke like I think they would for Joseph. I think Joseph is great for his part. I mean, I think Josuke is great for his part. I think he's a great, memorable character with a great design. I think this has a very fun personality and very real personality, which is, pretty rare in JoJo. But I don't think he matches the heights of these four characters,
I
which is
can
why I say
understand A.
A. All right, Mob.
It's been too
S.
long since I watched that.
I say S. Instant for me.
If there was S plus, then it'd be S plus.
I
Why
think
do you guys say
it's an
S
easy
though?
S.
Ah,
He has the comedy. He's very funny. Everything they do with Mob when he's consistently hilarious. He is the best part of his show, which is saying a lot. I know people would argue Reagan, but I think personally speaking, Mob is my favorite part of the show. He has the comedy that matches Joseph, in my opinion. He has a growth that could be overlooked, but 100% matches Edward. He has, ironically, his design is fantastic despite being seen as generic because it portrays exactly what they want you to see. He is Mob. I think he has everything it takes to be a perfect character. I think the combination of funny, the combination of depth, the combination of just being cool, the combination of relatability, everything that makes Edward great is in Mob as well, and made and presented in such a unique way as well. And him being so powerful is also very important to the story, and the battles in Mob, you can really see what Mob is fighting for, and Mob is able to translate his own thoughts into the audience in such a natural way that everyone will root for Mob the farther they get. Mob is a fantastic character, so I would easily say S for Mob.
Okay. You guys say yes, put him in S.
Anything to add? I know I ranted a little bit there.
I agree with everything you said and more.
And more. Yeah, Mob is Mob to me is probably the easiest S here, other than Edward. So
Not even Kirito.
you could see where I put Kirito.
Oh, I didn't even notice we got past Meliodas already. But we don't need to talk about him. Moving on.
Jolene is an S for me. Jolene is a pretty quick S for me. I would understand if personally you like Josuke more than Jolene, but as a character and her role in the story she takes part in, and her growth, as well as her depth and her design, and her role as the only female protagonist on this list, it all speaks to why she belongs in S, in my opinion.
I'll give her an A. I'll say A. She's great. She's great. Ain't even lie. I just don't think. I feel like she's just in between that S and A tier. Like I don't know her. I don't really have much to say, honestly, in terms of like her flaws or anything.
I
She doesn't
think
really have
she
much flaws.
probably has the clearest character arc in JoJo. She changes the most from beginning to end,
Absolutely.
and I think it is a joy to watch that happen. And it is so easy to root for Jolene. I think her character arc is up there. I would put her above Josuke personally, but I can understand seeing her on the level as Josuke as well.
She's a better character than Josuke. I can firmly attest that. I was actually watching her. I was watching JoJo Part 6 like yesterday. Ironically.
So
Coincidentally.
So we've got one S, one A. Anyone want to be a tiebreaker?
Nah, I
I'll
still gotta
change my
watch that.
I'll change my mind to Ash. She's Ash.
All right,
She-
she's S.
You changed my mind. You're good.
I was
Bro
gonna
didn't
say
even, bro didn't even fight that. Oh, Sky was gonna say something.
Oh,
I'm
I
hating
was
again.
gonna say A.
well,
A majority still rules, anyways.
Yeah, no,
Doesn't
majority,
matter.
yeah, so it's S.
all right. Naruto.
Naruto.
That's a B.
He's a B for me.
B.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
think he
B.
does have a great dub voice, in my opinion. I think that dub
Oh
voice
yeah,
fits
for
in.
sure. Like, listen, the gradingness, like, I like it. It's not. It
He
And
wasn't
has some of
annoying.
the greatest moments, but him as a character, I don't know about that.
I
Actually,
do
no.
think of these B tiers, he is the best.
Early years of Naruto, I'll say an A.
But
Shippuden,
yeah,
that's a
if
C.
we're talking all of Naruto, I think it rounds out to a B.
Yeah, I'll give that a B.
B seems pretty well apt.
All right, ready to move on?
Yeah. Jotaro. What do you got in there?
Jotaro.
Sasuke. All right. Jotaro. My God. If we're including all parts, I've only seen him in 3 and 4, but I really like, you know, taking the 2 parts combined from being a delinquent that just like punches his way out of everything, but it still kind of has some street smarts in general. To being like, more of like a soft-spoken adult and being like a mentor to the group in part 4. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say A.
I
I
am.
do like.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
also
say
gonna go A just because he's so good in parts 4 and part 6. Like, especially in part 6, but he's also great in part 4. Just
first
his
of all, he's
relationship as a mentor is fantastic.
he's one of the best character designs. Like, period.
Yeah,
He has
like
one of the
Kanji
best character.
inspired so much.
And then I had B at first, but then I remember like watching him. I remember watching him part 6, and I just liked his character. You know, it just seemed like Jotaro.
He
But
really grew on me at
yeah,
that
he grew.
point.
Like at
Yeah.
first, I didn't like Jotaro, honestly,
Yeah, when
because
I
he
was done with part 3, I was.
called his mom a bitch. You know,
I felt
That crazy.
similar to how I feel about Jotaro when I was done with part 3. But seeing him part 4, seeing him become this mentor who
right?
was trying to kind of pass it on, he was trying to make things easier for the next generation. And then part 6, how he treated Jolene, about how he pretty much got along with Hermes and his
And it
interactions with Anasui. It was entertaining.
and it shows his flaws too. Like I remember one part in part 6 where he was literally just shoving the fucking thing onto what's her name onto Jolene.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he's just like he was like he didn't really care about what she was doing, like how she was feeling about something, and he just kept saying hold on to it, hold on to it. Like he's so objective focused, he don't really care about he's so
But
just
we can
dense.
understand why he, when
Yeah,
we start part 3, we don't understand why he is like that. But when
exactly.
we've been through these journeys, we see why he's kind of become this weathered veteran who is more objective focused and just trying to keep everyone safe because he's lost people, and you
Right.
feel how he's lost people in part 6 especially. He's trying to be protective even if he doesn't know the best way how, and that's why if he was better in part 3, he would probably be S tier, but mostly based on parts 4 and 6, he's definitely A tier.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey, calm, hey.
for certain.
All right,
No argument there.
Natsu.
Hey, who's next? Natsu dragged me on, my boy. I'm gonna put him in. I'd put him in B, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, he's like, for me, it's like entertaining to watch. I liked his character. He's definitely different than the other pro tags here, for certain. Like he has his own brand. His design, friggin' beautiful. Love that pink hair, scarf, sleeveless shirt, Aladdin pants. It's all fucking good. Plus, it also, I don't know if it set the precedent, if Fairy Tail set the precedent, but it was at least my first experience to that whole like world of magic and then magic guilds type shit. Like really took me aback when I was younger. But yeah, compared to like, I wouldn't say he's as deep and like as fleshed out as the people in A. He definitely has his share of like problems that he definitely goes into to explore, but all around, he, for the most part, stays the same guy, even through the most like harrowing experiences. He'll get through them, and by the end of the arc, they'll be all right. They'll just go on another mission. But yeah, I'm gonna say calm B for Natsu.
So for me, everything I've watched of Fairy Tail, which I have watched multiple episodes, I've seen a lot of stuff going on in it. I feel like nothing about him has ever stood out. I feel like in B, something about everyone there stands out, whether it be their design, their icon status, a unique moment. And I feel like Natsu doesn't really have that. I feel like he doesn't have something that makes him stand out, which is
You
why
don't
I
think
would
that
see
the
him on par with Asta pretty much.
oh hell no. Okay, yeah, now we gotta sit about this one. Listen, all right, so first let me ask you his design, at
I
least,
don't
like
really like
that
his
doesn't
design. It's just whatever to me.
interesting. Okay. Well, it's like if you said you've seen whatever you've seen, and like, what is it? Nothing stood out to you. It's nothing for that. But he is definitely, I'll
What I
say,
saw, Happy had more lines than him. Like
that
that's not overall, but like there are some episodes where Natsu he
I
doesn't
mean,
have that.
Happy.
He doesn't have much presence.
I mean, like, cause like, well, for one thing, Natsu. First of all, he's another case in this like list. Natsu isn't even the main character of Fairy Tail. That's more so Lucy, if anything. But Happy, it makes sense to me if you say there was an episode you saw or two where Happy had more lines. And Happy is kind of like, sidekick narrator to kind of explain sometimes what might be going on or what Natsu's doing or whatever. When it's time to get into a fight or whatever, Natsu's just whatever. He just kind of might be like goofy or crack jokes here and there. But when it comes to like, battling or whatever, he's like kind of laser focused.
That's
And
my
his like
goat.
his battle
Happy.
tendency is second to none. But yeah, like his fighting style too, like that is like
I
goated.
just
That
feel
is
like there's
definitely iconic
no
and unique.
defining characteristics to him at all. Like, I feel like Asta shows more personality than Natsu. It's just Natsu
I was
isn't really as annoying with it. Like,
I think
Natsu
it's
isn't
more
really
so Asta's
obnoxious
more
with anything.
Asta's more in your face and like loud about what his personality is. It's on his sleeve. It's very easy to see. If you haven't seen much of Fairy Tail or like just remember a few episodes here and there, you're not I don't think you're really gonna remember Natsu's personality being that like making that big of a splash. But either way, I'll put him in C because yeah, when he's there, it's like I enjoy watching him or seeing him on screen and like seeing him doing what he's doing much more than the people below that. And his personality, I do like how it meshes with other characters and his own beliefs and yada yada this that.
I feel like in terms
But
of
that's the B.
shonen, being goofy normally, but being, protective of your friends and getting mad and getting powerful from it, you need to have more than that to really be even like above even to be average.
My
I
Because
God.
mean,
you could use that to describe most of the people on this list.
but the same person in like B, it's like the only thing like Itadori like has all those qualities you mentioned,
I could
but
move
like
Itadori down. To me, Itadori has an appeal where he's just kind of he has an average teenager vibe to him, like him liking a random celebrity, depending on sub or dub.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a teenager vibe to him. There's a down to earthness to him that I think I like his design. I like Itadori's design more as well, and I think he has a uniqueness to him because I don't think any other character here really feels like a real teenager. Like some of them seem younger than teenagers. Some of them seem, some of them are just adults. I feel like Itadori is kind of unique with his teenager vibes. That I just don't see any unique vibes in Natsu.
hmm,
And
that's fine.
I've probably watched as much as like I've watched the season of Jujutsu Kaisen, collective Fairy Tail. I've probably watched around the same amount. Not in any specific order, but and I would say Itadori stands out more to me than Natsu.
If you only seen like that much of Fairy Tale or whatever, like there's nothing more for it than whatever you think now. But I'll say B.
I vote C. Who wants to be the tiebreaker?
I'll say C.
There we
How
go.
much of Fairy
I
Tale have
vote
you
B.
seen? Who's
Yo, are you
Sky? Sky
serious?
votes B. All right, so we're in a
How
deadlock.
do
Looks
we
like
decide then?
we gotta keep discussing until somebody switches sides. That's it.
All right, go ahead and convince me that he's not C, because I do not see a single.
All right. So you said your thing for him is like you don't see anything that sets him like apart, I guess, from other pro tags. Well, for one, I don't even think Fairy Tail is shonen specific,
It's
like the same
definitely
type of show.
showing it. It's definitely showing it.
Not the same as like these others. It might be like the side shonen. I don't remember its name.
Isn't it like Ultra Jump or
Oh
something?
well, it's not on Shonen Jump. I mean, well, yeah. Okay, I thought you just meant like the genre, not the magazine.
No, not that. But What was it? So he definitely, of course, doesn't follow the blueprint,
He does
but
though.
I mean, does follow the blueprint. Sorry, it doesn't. Definitely follows like the blueprints or like the base blueprints as the others. But you said nothing. So what is it about Ichigo that sets him apart from others
Well,
for you?
Ichigo is not the carefree, goofy guy who then turns all serious, to protect his friends. He's kind of consistent. He is what you see with him, but I think his design's carrying a lot here. His weapon is very cool. I can play him with Super Smash Flash 2, which does a lot. I think his icon status is doing heavy lifting here for me in terms of Ichigo.
Okay. The thing about Natsu, again, the thing that makes him unique that nobody else here has, like just the way he fights, the way
I
his
don't think you're
power
gonna be able
system
to
is built,
convince me. I'm gonna
the
be
way
straight
his
up.
power system like is built. All right, so let me direct this more towards like East. Then East, why you think C
Yeah,
tier?
you'll have to convince
Same
me.
reasons.
I
Nothing sets them apart
no,
for you personally.
yeah, nothing really sets me apart from him. As
Well,
of
it's like,
what I've seen.
mm. But bro, don't you remember watching the Grand Magic Games with me and Sky when in that 2v2, and then he instead turned it into a 2v1, bro.
You know what,
There are the
Sky, describe what makes Natsu stand out compared to, say, anyone in B tier.
What makes Natsu stand out from anyone in B tier? I thought I was putting him in B tier.
Well, yeah, but he's I don't think he's B tier level. So tell me what makes him B tier level. What makes him stand out?
I don't want. My opinion is very limited, but from what I've seen, like I don't know, I enjoyed. Well, I've really only seen like fight scenes really because that's the majority of what we watched when we did have like time to watch it. But I mean, on the most basis of levels, I just really enjoyed watching him like do his thing. I don't know, can't really say the same about like much of the other like Going Freaks like nah, Ichigo nah, but I don't know like watching just like Natsu do his shit like for the few episodes that I watched like I don't know it was interesting.
Okay,
That's
I
on the
would say
most
I
basic.
don't like to watch Gon fight, but I think his place in the story is what benefits him. I don't really think what does Natsu represent for Fairy Tail? What is he meant to represent? Because I feel like all of these
say
guys, even though they may not stand out in the same way A tier does, they all represent something in their stories that make them stand out. And I don't what is Natsu supposed to represent?
personally speaking as somebody who's seen the entire series at least up to like the recent thing that was released like a year or two ago. I'd say he represents like the heart because like the guild in
That's
itself is
that's
like a
every
family,
that's
and
every shonen protag. Like you need
that is
more than that.
definitely not true. Itadori is not the heart of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Who is the heart of Jujutsu Kaisen?
That's Gojo.
What? Yeah,
Gojo is. I
Gojo
don't know. Gojo kind of represents something else. I feel like Gojo is more than that.
privates.
I feel like Gojo represents a lot. Like you can include a lot in what he represents.
It's like to be more specific in the sense that the guild, like family, found family is a very like big subject in Fairy Tail. And Natsu is kind of always like whatever calamity the like world, the land or the world or the guild is going through, he's kind of like the beating heart of the guild that is gonna really do or get whatever needs to be done to make sure it doesn't fall apart and people remember like what that place is to all of them, like that it is their home, and that as long as they stand together towards something, nobody can shake that. It's like every arc where something like that threatens it, he's usually always the one that comes through and kind of reminds them like what it means to be that part or that family, that found family. So it's like I said, if you've only seen like a handful of episodes or a season or two, it's like I don't think you're gonna feel it or understand it to that sense. But that's what he represents.
Does that change your mind, Beef?
No.
To me, it's like all the information I get just makes him sound more and more generic. Like, he represents the heart. Just feels like, yeah, he's the main character, so he brings everyone together.
He is not the
I
main
feel
character.
that is the default. I know Lucy is, but in terms of like in terms of, I don't want to say popularity, but I feel like when the author is writing fight scenes, he ain't self-inserting as Lucy. He's self-inserting as Natsu. You know,
What exactly do you mean
like
by
Natsu
that?
doesn't really. There's a reason Natsu's personality isn't crazy unique. It's because Natsu's kind of I think Natsu is more of a stand-in for the reader than Lucy
I
is.
I disagree with that heavily. Natsu's I
I
won't say
feel
his
like Natsu
personality.
is a little bit of a power fantasy.
I
And he
don't
may
think
not
his
be he's not the
personality.
strongest in the verse or whatever, but he is kind of he feels like the viewer or reader is supposed to see themselves in Natsu and be like, oh, he's so raw defeating these guys, you know.
No, I disagree with
He's
that
so
heavily.
raw.
So raw. Don't ever call a man raw. I disagree with that heavily, just on the sense that one, I I don't think his personality is anything groundbreaking, but I believe it's at least like it's cemented enough to know that this is like Natsu. This is his own personality. And there are like multiple like villains at the end of arcs where he definitely does not win on his own. It's usually through help from other people or power of friendship type shit, or somebody giving him power. And there are also times where specifically where he has fallen to his knees and broken down and cried because he sensed the overwhelming difference in strength between him and somebody he looked up to. I do not think he's supposed to represent the power fantasy or a self insert at all because he has his lows and some are just like very real lows. And he definitely does not win like on his
You know what?
own.
Let's leave Natsu for later. You know, I'd say we leave him for later.
All right. What is this? Psyche Ray, I think it's called. I haven't
Psyche
even watched this. I
K.
don't. Psyche K. I don't know.
I mean, he's fun. He's B tier to me. He's just fun. It's not like, you know, he's gonna be doing anything crazy. He's just a fun character. You know, he's nowhere near like Mom's level, but he's fun, and that's really all you expect from that show because it's a comedy. I don't think he's as funny as a lot of the people on this list, but he's funnier than anyone in B, C, or D, so I'd put him in B. Anyone have an argument?
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Saitama. This may sound controversial. I think
B.
Saitama is S tier.
Oh.
I was
Don't
gonna
you
say
like?
A.
Hmm.
Well, I haven't seen much. I can't say much.
Personally, I don't like the anime, but the webcomic, I've read it. I haven't fully read it. I've pretty much just read a little bit past where the anime ended. This dude, it's crazy how much depth he had for how nonchalant the comic started and how they add this depth to him that goes on. Because when he starts, he's easily the best character. He's the funniest. You know, he is the show. But as it goes on and you start to realize, like, damn, this dude is really just actually depressed. Like, and you see his thoughts on what's going on. and you start to feel for him, and it's like, how did they make me feel for Caped Baldy? I think Saitama is S tier to me. I think he is the standout of One Punch Man. There's a reason he has kind of become iconic, and One Punch Man has become iconic. Now, I think the anime is kind of a little bit mediocre, but I think the concepts behind like the webcomic, and I would argue his design is fantastic. I would put him in S tier. I
I don't.
expect him not to actually make it. That's just where I would put him.
I mean, I'd say A, but that's only from what I've seen. If you say there's more, then I mean, like, I can't like really like argue against it because I literally
Yes.
haven't seen it. I've
Same.
seen more of the other character, more of the supporting cast for him than anything. More of Garu.
I would
Um,
argue. Damn, I never actually pronounced his name out loud. Garo? I don't know. I would
Garu.
argue those characters don't really come close to Saitama, in my opinion. I feel like
Yeah.
Saitama is very much the standout. I think that whatever his name, the king guy with the claw with the scratches on his eye,
Yeah.
he's funny, but like, and he probably has a good amount of stuff, but I don't think anyone matches really Saitama and like his emotions on things, his feelings on things, his like literal depression and how that is handled and shown. Like, I think it is very interesting. While I wouldn't say I like him as much as Mob, he is also one of the characters that makes me laugh a lot. I enjoy him greatly. Like, he's made multiple memes at this point. I think he's iconic at this point. I would put him in S, but I could be argued to put him lower, I suppose.
I'd say A, but that's just same as Sky.
It seems
It's
everyone's
fun for
going
what I've
A,
seen.
so I'll go A.
B.
I'm going A. Okay, we averaged the A. All right, another one I think is S is Shinji. I don't think this even needs to be argued. I don't think anyone who's watched Ava and has like any amount of emotional intelligence or even like intelligence
Damn,
of
I
media
literally watched it. What the
would. I don't think.
twice?
Wait, let me finish. I'm saying I don't think anyone who's watched it would put him lower than S. Are you saying you would put him lower than us?
I mean, I don't have that much emotional connection to Shinji, so I can't really say much.
I think he's
So
an easy S to me.
He said if you had any emotional intelligence or
I feel like
intelligence, you would put
I
him in
feel like on the level of depth, like how I can perceive his depth, and yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give him an S.
I think he's in
Does
a very
does
easy
the
S
thing
for me.
does the thing he did in the
Don't bring it
hospital
up.
affect his
Don't bring it
ranking at
up.
all? Or no? No? Okay.
There's no
Why
need
are
to
we
bring
not
it
allowed
up.
to bring it up? It's
I
part of
mean,
the
you're
character.
okay. You can bring it up. Yes, characters are allowed to do bad things and still be good characters.
They're
Aaron,
allowed
I don't
to.
Aaron,
I don't
Aaron is not C
I
tier
don't
because he did bad things. Therefore, we don't like him. Aaron is C tier for things that would probably get a lot of people mad at us for even saying, but he represents some not so good things, and his show
character.
kind of falls flat in portraying certain thematic elements, and that is primarily showcased through Aaron. Whereas I feel Shinji, they succeed in what they are trying to say and show.
So if I did what Shinji did, would you still like me?
No.
What the hell? Damn hypocrite. Put him wherever you want.
Yeah,
This
he's
doesn't
there. Don't worry.
That's crazy. Yo, shit. Oh, Shinichi put my boy in the S tier. I'm
S
sorry.
tier.
Yeah, no. Let me
There's
tell
Damn.
no
you.
way he's S tier.
Let me tell
Damn.
you. Let me tell you why S tier. Let me tell you why.
Wait, who?
So,
The guy
Shinichi from
from
Parasite.
Parasite.
I could be argued down to A, but let me tell you why I think S. So his arc, I love his arc. After being like infected, just the steady growth and change from becoming less human to the parasite in him becoming more human to him just until he becomes this kind of cold, standoffish, quote unquote human. He becomes a superior, quote unquote, human one, like without the drawbacks of empathy and sadness and the issues of the heart and whatnot. And he that growth is so organic and steady while he slowly realizes that he is changing and the parasite in him slowly becoming slowly understanding human connections and emotions more and more until toward you get to the end and he kind of figures out that healthy balance of the two. This is a very heavy summarization, but to be brief, I just really love those two parallels from human to basically subhuman and non-human, and the parasite from non-human to human, to them both figuring out that balance towards the end. It's just so good. Something I have not seen anywhere before, and I'm sure there's media out there that does it maybe even better. But that was my first exposure to this.
I mean, I'll take your word for it. I haven't really watched Parasite other than those few episodes that I watched with you where he didn't do much. But I'll take your word for it.
I think East and Sky at least maybe have enough memory to weigh in on their own.
Yeah.
I do, but it's
I
not.
think
I
it's
do
really
not
good.
rank it as highly as you do. I don't know. I think
Sure.
I don't think I enjoyed my memory is vaguer, but I know my disdain for it is still the same. I just really didn't like Parasite at all. I watched it all fully, but I just didn't like it. I think it's just the way in which the message was conveyed. I just didn't enjoy that. I guess
I remember you
I
didn't enjoy the ending. I don't
Yeah.
remember that you didn't like the whole thing.
yeah, the ending bothered me, but I think the ending bothered me. Yeah, because it was just I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, but it's just overall, I didn't really. I don't think I vibed with it as much as y'all did, for sure. I don't know.
I like
I
it a
think
lot.
A fine, but I'd be okay with putting them in B as well. I think A works for me.
I'll say A as well.
All
All
right,
right,
it
A
is.
is the majority.
I did enjoy him, but not to that extent. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to each his own.
Jonathan Joestar.
B at least.
I was gonna say at least probably be.
Yes,
I don't think there's much that needs to be said. Use the
he's
baseline.
yeah, baseline entertaining. He goes through a character arc. Fantastic rivalry with Dio. Great design for a starting character. Even though he's kind of a Kenshiro ripoff, he stands out on his own. He's a very nice gentleman, so I think easy B.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
And
whoever this guy's name is. Yeah.
I think Sky can take the lead on placement here.
Listen. Y'all are gonna give a lot of shit, but what you're thinking about the show is the only reason the show
I'm gonna say
has
C
any
tier.
hindrance. You're gonna say
His,
C?
I mean, just having that generic black hair is already doing so much to detract from his ranking. His
I can't even
designs
lie. I don't even like.
don't stand out at all.
I don't even like Fire Force, but his design is tough. I can't even lie. I like
I
his design.
really don't
Yeah,
see it.
I was gonna
He
say
is just
his black hair is it's generic, but the red eyes and the sharp teeth and the way he wears his uniform, the bare feet
How
and
does
the
the black
overall
hair matter? That's such a weird thing
suspenders.
to pick out.
Well, hair is pretty important to design, but it's the outfit and the hair and the teeth that kind of make up for it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. The hair is a weird thing to pick out. I don't know. But his design's nice. I like his design a lot. Especially when his flames come out. There's one scene where he descends upon I think Maki who's being hurt, and like his flames look not like horns, but it's like angular and very like curving into him with like flame wings kind of with his like smile and shit. Like I don't know, that shit looks fucking amazing and cool. Like I think his design works well. I don't know why the hair bothers you, but his design's fine.
I,
It's
I
it's
like
good for a
the
shonen protag.
I like I like his nervous tick thing, where it's like
Yeah.
what animals do. Like he just smiles very wide, like shows his teeth
I think
when he's
also
like
what is it like
stressed.
overalls or suspenders?
Or suspenders.
Yeah, I think he's like the only one who like really like reps that shit well. Like given like his job title as well, like fire like
The suspenders, the close fit shirt, and the bare feet with the baggy pants. It works.
it works, bro. I don't know. I'd personally say A. I'm okay with putting them in B.
I'm gonna say B just from what I know of him, which isn't as much as you would like. That's all I know of him.
Mm-hmm.
I very much do like the fact that like his universe and what he does by the end of the manga is connected to the Soul Eater world. It's the same world.
I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know what the author was going on with that. There's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like I don't know too much. I just know that what he basically becomes, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll say B tier for Shinra.
I'll say C. I only like his character design. That's it. I can't even.
I say C.
We got, what did you say,
To
Sky?
B. I was okay with A. I wanted A. I'm okay with B.
We can
So-
round that to B if you said A.
Why couldn't we run? Wait, no. He went
We're
down to B.
saving him for later.
Oh my god. All right,
Alright,
so
Spike.
B.
I think Spike is an easy A, in my opinion.
Spike?
Spike
Why is he
Speed.
even in here? He's not even shonen.
I don't
There
know.
are
Skip him.
there are some that aren't even shown, and then skipping Inuyasha wasn't shown in.
Inuyasha's shown.
So are you sure?
I think that is shonen. It might be.
That's ridiculous. All right.
So you don't want to
But
rank
anyway.
Spike?
I mean, Spike. Let's see, because it's been a while since I watched Cowboy Bebop.
He's an A
From
for
From
me.
what I remember, I'll say A.
He's in the list, my rule. Alright, Tanjiro.
C.
Damn.
Yeah, I might go.
Say...
I was going to say B, but when I think about it, he might be even more generic than all the people in B.
Oh,
So I'm
I'ma
gonna
say
go
B.
C. All right,
2C is a B. Sky.
Sky.
I mean, I don't know. I like it's simple. I think for me and effective. I don't know. I same thing with for Fire Force. Just wanted A. I'm okay with B.
All right, so we'll round it up to B then.
All right, if you want A. Mikey? Wait, no, Mikey's the other. Who's this one?
No. Fucking bro.
This guy's a C for me. I had no investment in him when I was reading the manga.
Takemichi, I'm gonna say B. He's definitely not C
I'll
for
say
me.
B. Absolutely.
B.
All right, B.
He gets on my fucking nerves, but
Hey, it's me!
He low-key
Goku!
ruined the story, but whatever.
No, put
Seems
that
like a
bro in
big
D.
deal
No,
to
I'm
keep him
kidding.
in B, but okay. Yeah.
Goku
If this was just Dragon Ball, then he would probably be A. But if we acknowledge Super, shouldn't that like affect his ranking?
Oh boy. Oh god. Do we use Super? Or
Oh,
GT?
everything.
I feel
GT as well.
I don't think we should do GT, but I think if we're talking, I think Super should be included. It's written by Toriyama, and I think Super, in the way it kind of just changes his character to be worse. You can see that's a Toriyama thing, you know. That's still clearly a creator thing that he's done that to other characters. So I feel if we're just thinking about the artist's original vision, you have to include Super, and I feel Goku has regressed a lot, but he's still entertain. Like when I think about all the greatness that came with the original and was it makes me want to put him. It makes me put him in B instead of if it was just Super, it would definitely be C. But thinking about all that original greatness, I would go B.
Okay. Mm, yeah,
I'll
he's
say,
fine.
yeah. Oh, they massacred my boy.
Damn.
If it was just Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I promise he would be A, if not S. He made the shonen archetype, and no matter what people tell you, don't let them tell you he doesn't develop as the series goes on, because he 100% does. The only problem is his development regresses
He just
with Super, and he kind of forgets all the lessons he's learned, and has to learn them again, because I guess Toriyama didn't know how to write a story where he learned lessons that are new instead of lessons he already learned.
Tough.
In his defense, bro wasn't even supposed to be like doing this long.
He probably should have just retired and let someone else take over. You know, you've
Toriyama
earned it.
forgot.
I'm sure he's made enough money. He could just like live in happiness.
Toriyama probably forgot his own character development.
I'm dead.
Really working on that.
Oh, all right.
I
Good for
think
him.
B is too crowded now.
Oh,
Nah.
that's the mid.
All right, so I
It
guess we'll
hurts
have
to
to
say
round up.
It hurts to say Goku is mid now, when he was so great previously.
Hey man, Goku mid and Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Okay.
One of the best. One of the best. I don't care. Stupid
But
obscure. Alright.
I like Asta and Giorno more than Natsu.
But you know, you've seen, I think, more. Like, how much did you say you saw of Fairy Tail?
I mean, I have family that has watched it and all of it. So just like and in the living room. So I have been there for anytime I would
Bits and
go,
pieces,
grab
per se.
food or something, I would be I would see what's happening. I
But that's not the
know
equivalent
the
of watching the
characters.
entirety of Part 5 and however much you've seen of Black Clover.
I've seen
Like, what, 20 something episodes?
I've seen I think it's 35 episodes I've seen of Black Clover.
That's more than, and like
Okay.
roughly the same amount of episodes for Part 5 than seeing bits of and pieces of Fairy Tail whenever somebody's watching it in the living room.
I've seen more Fairy Tail than I have of Psyche K, and I like Psyche K guy more.
Psychic is a comedy. It's not supposed to, like, there's
Okay,
no
well, he's likable. What can I
there's
do?
no
He
emotional
seems
linear
like a
version
nice guy.
of
What am I
Psychic.
gonna? What am I gonna?
Stuck up. Stuck up.
What the fuck are you going on?
He's snobby.
Oh,
Psych.
okay.
Well, that's.
I mean,
He's
if
not
you had the
snobby.
power,
He just keeps doing so.
bro, if I could destroy people with my mind, I might be a bit stuck up.
I just don't think Natsu has. You. I mean, you put. Sure, whatever. You put Tanjiro there. Anyone could be
All right. You
there.
know, I'm gonna leave that at that. We're not even gonna. We'll leave that alone. But yeah, he'll definitely be B. He's
So
definitely more entertaining to look at than people in C tier, for sure.
he's not here.
Who's
But
not here?
for East Case, where would Yusuke or Meshi rank on this list?
A.
S.
Fucking A. S. I'll
S.
say
Yes.
S. Round up. S.
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 I'm going A.
You clearly see this
Issa.
Kuwabara better, so I'm going A.
You clearly see that don't mean nothing.
are we talking about?
This is unbiased, man.
Talking about
What?
that. Why was he not here? Actually, why was Yusuke not in here?
I don't know. That's what I was saying.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it does feel like he's a little bit missing out.
Undisputed.
They
my
should
favorite
put City
shonen.
Hunter D here, this guy, because he's funny. I would put him
You had
high.
fucking Boruto in here, but
Yeah,
not
what the fuck? Undisputed. My favorite shonen MC.
He's A tier.
Yusuke Urameshi.
He's fun,
Go.
but he's
What
not
about you,
better than.
Sky?
Yeah, where would you put Yusuke?
All right, but Kuwabara's not a main character. He's not a main character. He's not the main character.
Should be.
Let bro go to school, all right? Yusuke is the one having the adventures.
Most of these characters here have better side characters.
That's
Not
true.
not in SRA.
Let's see. Fushiguro Megumi?
I said not in
Above
SRA.
Mm.
I'm not arguing B. B has side characters better than main characters for sure.
Not SRA.
S and A, I say they are the best in their role.
I mean, they're there for. I mean, S and A. They're kind of there for a reason. It's kind of hard to. It's a high bar for anybody to clear. But yeah, Yusuke S.
S.
What'd Sky say?
For which one?
Yusuke.
Yusuke is not here, but
Urameshi.
Yusuke Urameshi.
I'd say S.
Hell
All right,
yeah,
he's S then.
Fucking
So he
real.
would be S.
real shit.
I'll blow up this whole fucking place. Don't play with me.
I believe him.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't talk. It makes you sound stupid. Crazy fucking liners this kid had.
Like, yo,
We gotta acknowledge how great it is. JoJo's got 4 characters in S though. That's a good serving. And then
alright,
2 in A?
Alright, but Yu Yu Hakusho is 1 for 1.
Okay,
Mhm.
but Togashi is 1 for 2.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
stop it. Look at the Chimera Ant arc and then get back to me. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, but not bad.
Alright, thanks for journeying into the mystery dungeon with us. To see from us, subscribe and comment about how wrong we are about your favorites.